Tuesday.
Doing good.
Are we?
I decided to start Movember a little early this year because I'm a little overwhelmed with all the actual stuff that is occurring in my life. I can't even handle basic body functions anymore. That wasn't the right term, was it? Personal grooming, whatever. You get the idea. It's a mess.
Well, one thing you should get a handle on is a message from today's sponsor.
Active Directory vulnerable to cyber attacks? Active Directory is the #1 attack vector involved in 9 out of 10 attacks. Because of legacy Active Directory misconfigurations, it is a prime target for cyber criminals. To find and fix AD security vulnerabilities, you need Purple Knight, a free community Active Directory vulnerability assessment tool that is used by thousands of organizations to scan for indicators of exposure and compromise. Purple Knight provides a vulnerability assessment report and prioritizes recommendation guidance so you can quickly find and fix legacy misconfigurations that leave your core identity system open to attackers. You can also use Purple Knight to scan for vulnerabilities in Azure Active Directory, which is notoriously tricky to secure. Stop worrying about security gaps and download Purple Knight today to find out where the problem is and how to fix it. You can find links to Purple Knight in the description of this podcast.
Something I got to get my head around, which I've been not
Want
doing.
some computing?
No, is Matter. I got to figure out
Yes.
where I am in this ecosystem. And
So you're not upgrading iPhones, right? That's
correct.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Apple is part of the group that's supporting it. You'll see it in whatever the Home Kit thing is called now, that Home, whatever that thing.
Yeah, well, I guess I should qualify that. What I really want to figure out how to do is to get all my Nest crap, which is supposed to be Matter supportive,
Right.
into the Home app. So I just have one app to rule them all. But
Do you use Philips Hue lights?
I do.
Yeah, so this is kind of the same problem, right? These things should all be, if they're not already compatible, and you should be able to do the one thing. I mean, this is what Apple tries to do with content in Apple TV. This is what Apple tries to do with content on.
Well, the Hue
in
lights
Home,
are
you know.
already in the Home app. I'm over that one. I
Yep,
need to figure
it's
out
the
how
other
to get
stuff.
the Google stuff into
So
there.
you probably need So right now, Google Nest there's no sense of a hub. You're just on the network. It's just going through the Home app, the Google Home app.
Yep.
You probably need a Matter compatible smart home hub of some kind. I think that might be it. And
I thought
once
the
you
Apple
have
TV
that,
things were doing that. But this is where I'm out of. I got to figure out where I am in this universe of hell that is known as IoT.
yeah, the need here is I think for someone like me, so I don't use Nest stuff anymore, but I did, and I have Philips Hue too, like you. So you must have one of those little white puck things for Philips
Yep.
Hue, right?
Yeah,
which is a
quite
joy to
literally
use because it
looking at
has to be on a wire. It's all this stupid stuff. So people who are really into this, people have smart shades and smart lights and smart whatever, and they do all this different stuff, might have multiple little pucks around the house because each one of them before required their own stupid little ecosystem, right? And I think the thing that you are probably looking at is ultimately consolidating down. You would have a single thing that would work with everything, and then you could control it through the app or service of your choice, which in your case would probably be the Apple, right? Yeah, is that right? I mean, I think that's right.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing would be like, can I get it into a single app? That would be step one.
Yeah.
Step two would be
and
like,
then
how
you
can I
create
get rid of
routines
some of
that
this?
go across the products, right?
Yeah, spaghetti.
Not just dim the lights or something, but dim the lights and do whatever you do. I don't know what you have in the house, but do different. Put the shades down, blah blah blah, whatever. You have like multi-device, I guess we call it multi-ecosystem routines or whatever the phrase is, right? Yeah, no, that's.
I wonder if I could
think
get
it's
my
a thing.
garage door in there. That would be.
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Well, we'll see what would be super helpful. Like, and I could probably do this with Home Automator, but I'm not willing to go down that route yet. Would be the simple one. Garage door goes up, Hue lights in the kitchen come on.
Yes, that's
Garage
exactly
door
right.
goes down, they turn off.
Yep. It could even, I mean, God, we're moving into this little condo thing, and my brother-in-law was telling me that there's a thermostat, like an electronic thermostat of some kind, where there's an app, and you could be driving home and you could turn up the temperature, so turn down the temperature in the summer, and I'm like, that's fantastic. Like that's fine. But what you're talking about is like the next level. It's not It's not Bluetooth in the car; it's CarPlay, right? It's the integration of everything into a single. Yeah.
But
No,
even
this is
yeah.
it's a good goal to have, especially if you're doing multiple smart homey things. So
Yeah, it just, again, got to start with the baby steps of getting all the stuff into the home app.
yeah, I don't. There's a lot of hype in our industry. The 5G thing, right? And how stupid that is. USB-C is actually an example of this. How stupid USB-C is. That different cable capacities and types, and you can't tell from looking at it what it does. All that stuff. I think Matter is in danger of falling into this trap. The dream is real, and I think this really can realize it, but it was announced with such fanfare. I just feel like it's like, okay, now it's just there and nothing's really happening, and I don't know where it's going.
Well, I know where this podcast is going. How's that iPhone?
Yeah, is it in a spiral shape of some kind? Yeah.
How's the 15 Pro? You've had it now for.
It's good. How indecisive. You know me better than most, so I mean, I go back and forth on this.
Never noticed.
I go through. Yeah, I know. Oh, you haven't?
Yeah.
There are parts of me that are like, I don't need it, and I don't. So I will have a couple of observations. One is it's lighter than these things. These things are bricks. Ever since they went to stainless steel, which I can't remember, version 12 or something, or 11. Actually, it might have been 10. It might have been the 10. It doesn't matter. These things have been like these dense lead bricks. This is, for this size, is kind of airy. Granted, I'm gonna put a case on it and ruin it, but so that the titanium, honestly, the color, which looks beautiful, natural, is a dull gray. It is nothing like the color they showed off, like nothing. But I don't care because, again, putting a case on it. By the way, the bezels, I've been ripping on them ever since they started marketing, the all-screen iPhone, which might have been the 10 several years ago now. Actually, these bezels are very small. They're noticeably small, really nice. USB-C obviously is awesome. Here's my little comeuppance, though. I have described, and I've just barely used this thing, dude. I haven't done the SIM switch over yet because, again, case, but I have described Dynamic Island as being the touch bar of the iPhone, this temporary thing that's going to come and go. I got to tell you, dude, it's actually pretty cool. And and I mean that just having experienced just a few small things.
Yeah.
And I think it's improved since they first released it, for sure. There's more stuff that supports it, but just a simple little thing, right? I start music playing in Spotify or YouTube Music, it doesn't matter. And then I go to a different app and I'm reading something. And up in that little black area, there's a little icon representing the album art of whatever's playing. And there's a little thing animating showing me that music is playing. And if a song comes on I don't like or whatever it is, yes, I can go through the multitasking interface and find the app. It might not be the last app. I might have to go a little while, but I can find it. I could navigate through the folder and find it, whatever. But you just tap that thing and you go right to it. That's actually very handy, dude. I got to be honest, and I know it does other things, if you're flying, you get little flight information, little updates and things. And I honestly, Apple in its own sort of weird obtuseness around the notch and like not doing what other companies have done has led to a UI that no one would have come to, right? Because why would you? And then you see it and it's like, okay, actually, and I think this just speaks to the Apple thing that many people criticize, which is that, they move slowly. And they don't embrace technology immediately. Usually they wait for it to mature. They see what other mistakes people make or whatever, and then they do something often unique. And I again, it's early. It's not even 24 hours, right? So I don't mean to. Dynamic Island is the reason you upgrade to a new iPhone, but it's honestly, it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty cool. So
now, did you get the fine woven case by any chance?
I did, and so
how?
What? Yeah, and so no. I said I have no case. Remember, that's because what happened was I ordered that with the device. I wasn't getting the device till early October. The reviews came out. I normally try to skip over those, right? Because I'm going to write about it. I don't want to be influenced by what other people say. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to matter. By the time I write this, it's not going to matter. Who cares? So I'm going to look at some reviews, and I saw some things that were like, oh God, like some problems. One of them was that fine woven case. It's a fucking piece of crap. So I set it up to return it, and then I ordered the like the normal the silicon case, whatever, which I don't really like. I kind of like the leather cases, frankly, although they too were heavy.
That's what I'm rocking on here.
Yep. So the answer is it's still sitting here, but I'm going to send it back. I've looked at it. It looks fine until you touch it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I looked at it and I closed the box. I'm not going near that again. I want to get my money back. It's $60, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the silicon case is arriving today. I'll probably go to a low-profile third-party case at some point. I don't like the bulky cases, but I need to protect this thing because what happens if I want to return it?
I don't even know the name of this one. Is it Weeble? No, I don't know.
Weeble? I hope it is Weeble.
Well, it's Bull. It has a bull on the back. The cases that I always look for, which Apple used to make, but if you notice, there's no case edge down here, so when you swipe up, you're not hitting it. That's my recommendation.
Oh, that's the other thing, dude. So since the iPhone 12, Apple has gone back to that kind of hard, flat side like they used to use in the iPhone 4 back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's iconic looking. There's no doubt about it. Steve Jobs compared it to like a Leica camera, right? Which I'm not old enough to remember that, but fine. But it is iconic, right? That thing used to drive me crazy though, because it like hurt my hands just to hold the phone. And then the case, of course, the lip had to go up, above the phone. And it was hard. Same thing. The side swipes, it made it very hard. And with this device, they have curved the top and bottom of those edges very subtly. You can see it. I mean, sort of. But honestly, dude, it makes it really comfortable to hold. A little too comfortable because I'm curious now with the case how that accommodates it. But I mean, it's slippery as all get out, like every phone. But
Bull Strap is the name of the
Bull Strap. I've never even heard of that.
People who are like, you can see the big cutout here.
Yep.
Which is exactly.
I mean, back before there were iPhones, well, no, that's not true. Back when iPod Touch was a thing, a lot of those cases would be like that too, right?
Yeah, this phone is just sharp. Like, I never have it out of the case. Maybe I could go.
No, it's too sharp. It hurts your hand to hold it.
It really does.
This is one of the things that blows my mind about like Apple reviews. Like people never point out these things that to me are just kind of obvious. It's like you pick it up, and you're like, does this not hurt your hand? Like it hurts to hold the thing. Like no one ever admits this. And now that they've switched to this curved edge, everyone's like, "Oh, this is great. It doesn't hurt your hand anymore." You never talked about that. Like what, So anyway, it's not like a life-changing thing, honestly, but I mean, I'm in this space. I need to review these things. It's been 2 years since I bought an iPhone and, to own.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't buy any iPhone even to review last year. I skipped the 14, I think, altogether, and that's very rare for me. It's good. It's not a Pixel.